How's it going, everyone? I am Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day, and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so here is something interesting that is currently happening. For a select few trainers, they are getting brand new bundle boxes in the Pokéshop that are completely different from what everyone else is getting. The caveat is that these boxes are absolute trash, like they are really bad. What's interesting is that these boxes are not rolling out for everyone, and it's not location specific either. I'm going to be talking about why that could be in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, so while I was waiting for Raid Hour to start yesterday, I was perusing through the Sylph Road Reddit and I came across a post that immediately caught my attention. The post stated that new bundle boxes arrived in the Pokéshop. Interesting enough. Considering the most recent boxes were pretty good, I wanted to see if these new boxes were an improvement. Oh my god, my heart completely sank. The boxes that were shown in the Reddit post were absolute garbage. Not a single one of them had any premium items like raid passes or incubators, and they were basically all regular items that you would typically get for free from spinning Pokestops and gyms. The first box cost 450 Pokecoins and contained 6 golden raspberries, 40 Ultra Balls, and 30 Pinap berries. The second box cost 625 Pokecoins and contained 1 King's Rock, 2 Fast TMs, 2 Charge TMs, and a Dragon Scale. And the third box cost 1,100 Pokecoins and contained 5 Fast TMs and 5 Charge TMs. I mean, these are ridiculously bad. Like, we've had terrible boxes before, but they were not this horrible. I was extremely concerned that this was going to roll out for everyone. I mean, we finally got a set of decent bundle boxes at the beginning of the current season, and for Niantic to follow them up with these absolutely horrible boxes would have just killed any enthusiasm for this game. But I did some digging, and it seems like these boxes are not rolling out for everyone, at least for the time being. I suppose this is some good news. I mean, just imagine how the Pokemon Go community would be if everyone received these particular boxes. I have a few theories on why only a small group of players received these boxes as opposed to anyone else. The original Reddit poster who reported these boxes seemed to be a spender. I'm not certain if they are a whale, but it does seem like they have spent money on the game at one point or another. I'm wondering if Niantic is testing out just what players are willing to spend their Pokecoins on. These particular boxes could be a test, which is quite scary if you ask me. It means Niantic is looking to see if they could adjust their bundle boxes with more items that players typically wouldn't buy with Pokecoins. If these kinds of boxes sell really well, which I doubt they will, then we could see a major degradation of bundle box quality. Another reason could be that Niantic is rolling out these bad boxes to a select number of trainers in order to boost the sale of the good bundle boxes that are available to everyone else. Wait, how could this be? Well, think of it this way. If 1 or 2 players are reporting these terrible boxes, then the several other players around them who still have the current good boxes will buy more of them than they need because they are worried that they are going away for these new bad boxes. I don't know if that makes sense, but it certainly is a possibility in my mind. Regardless, if you happen to have these terrible boxes in your Pokéshop, then obviously you should not buy them. You are going to end up spending your premium currency and not getting premium items in return. Pokecoins should exclusively be spent on raid passes and incubators, with the occasional lure module, lucky egg, star piece, etc. That is how you get your full money's worth. But when you spend Pokecoins on non-premium items like Pokeballs, berries, and non-elite TMs, then you are doing yourself a major disservice. Raid battles and egg hatching are where you get the best Pokemon, but these avenues are vastly limited. The only way to pick yourself up good IV legendaries, rare Pokemon, and shinies are going to be through purchasing raid passes and incubators. If anything, this is a big test for the Pokemon Go community to inform each other on why these boxes should never be bought. I can totally see a bunch of new players who don't know any better buying a bunch of these bad boxes because they trust that it is a good deal in some way. In reality, this is the biggest ripoff that Niantic has ever implemented. I do think it's important that players who know better make sure they help out players who don't. Otherwise, we might see a wider rollout of these terrible boxes to just about everyone. I've said this several times on my channel, but I do think it bears repeating. Niantic needs to stop messing around with bundle boxes. It's been a tumultuous roller coaster when it comes to them. At some point, we've had phenomenal bundle boxes that you absolutely needed to buy. At other points, we've had terrible bundle boxes that had very little value. As much as bundle boxes have been a source of premium items for a vast majority of the Pokemon Go player base, it has been a solid source of revenue for Niantic. I may not have the inside information on sales numbers, but I can project that their in-app purchases go through the roof whenever they bring out an awesome bundle box. I can tell because most players around me will vocalize how much they've spent whenever there is a good box. I don't know why Niantic is constantly messing with it. I can understand if they occasionally want to reduce the value of boxes just a little bit, but they keep trying to fix what isn't broken. Niantic needs to continuously improve on the value of bundle boxes, otherwise people will just stop spending money on the game. The formula is really simple. Create great content, which will motivate players to make purchases, and reduce any roadblocks along the way. When they constantly decrease the value of bundle boxes, it will cause players to feel deflated even if the content is good. Honestly, they sort of achieved that recently, which is why these boxes would be so bad for the game. The Great Raid box and the Voyager box that they released at the start of the Rising Heroes season were awesome. I already noticed a huge uptick with in-person raiding activity in my local communities, so I don't see why they have to make any kind of adjustment. Personally, I think Niantic needs to simplify it down. If certain bundle boxes are popular and are seen in a very positive light, then they need to double down on them. Rather than testing out terrible boxes for the sake of devaluing future boxes, they should instead continue with the current good boxes and improve them in future seasons. At least, that's how I would do it, because I would respect the player base and their wallets. If they were to do a wide rollout of these terrible boxes, that would only tell the Pokemon Go community that they have absolutely no respect for them. I'd like to think that's not the case, but Niantic's most recent track record hasn't proven otherwise. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Now, I would love to know your thoughts regarding all of this down below. Are you one of the unlucky players who currently has any of these bad boxes in your Pokéshop? What do you think Niantic is trying to accomplish with them? Share those thoughts in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list, so if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.